Hi everyone, Louisa Jewell here. How are you? Are you doing okay? I have been feeling down lately. I just have been finding that this is just going on for so long, and I really wasn't quite sure what was going on. And a friend of mine offered for me to go up to her cottage, and I did that for 10 days, and it was incredibly energizing. And I had an opportunity to rest and sleep and get creative, and it was wonderful. So I'm so appreciative for that. And I also had an opportunity to read this book, not quite through it all. This is called Learned Hopefulness by my dear friend and colleague, Dan Tomasulo. Now, Dan is a clinical psychologist, so he knows a lot about how to build hope. And the subtitle is The Power of Positivity to Overcome Depression. So great insights, tools on how to overcome depression. If you're feeling depressed, this is the book to read. So while I was reading it, Dan reminded me of some research that Martin Seligman had done. And Martin Seligman is considered the founding father of positive psychology. And Dan reminded me of this great research that Marty had done with his colleagues. And I just want to talk, because the whole book is about how to build hope. And so I want to read this really great passage. And with this passage, I want to share with you some of the insights that I had that helped me tremendously. So here it goes. What this means for hope is that our very ability to detect and expect control in the future will pull us out of a slump. Focusing on what can be done in the future rather than on what happened in the past creates hope. We speculate that it is expectations of a better future that most matter in treatment. Focusing on what's happened in the past keeps us sitting in the dark. When we concentrate on future possibilities, we can stand in the light. Now, this was a real aha moment for me, because when I thought about why I was feeling down, it was because I could not envision my future. You see, I'm a speaker. I go to conferences, I go to corporations all across North America. I speak to audiences, live audiences, and that all disappeared within a day. It was all gone. So it was very hard for me to envision my future. So Dan in the book actually asks you to do the Future Best Self exercise. And that's an exercise that was created by Dr. Laura King. And actually it has great evidence and great research behind it to suggest that if you do the Future Best Self exercise, that you in fact will improve your well-being. Now, the Future Best Self exercise has you think about your life in the future. What is your best life in the future? You envision that, and then you write about it for 20 minutes every day for 3 days in a row. Now, for me, doing that Future Best Self exercise, I couldn't really envision my future. And that's when I had this aha moment. That's why I'm feeling down, because I don't feel pulled by the future like I normally do and get excited about my future like I normally do. And so I had to re-envision a new future. So instead of 5 years from now, I thought of the next 6 months. And what I decided to do is I decided to write that even with coronavirus, what could I do to make these next 6 months more fulfilling, more joyful, more meaningful? How can I transform my life to have that today, to be doing that today? And I started to think about trips that I want to take, because in Canada, we can do some interprovincial travel. I can travel up north. I was trying to think of how many times I could go to the cottage. I was trying to think of different projects that I could be working on. And I started to think of friends that I wanted to see and hikes that I wanted to go on and places in Ontario that I've never been. And with all of this, I started to plan out these exciting things over the next 6 months. And these are things that I could look forward to. These are things that I could be hopeful about. And as I wrote about this new life, the hope started to rise. I could see my future again. And it felt so good to do that. And doing that 3 nights in a row has really changed my perspective on the future and has really increased my hope. So try it. Try it for you. I'm going to put the instructions on how to do the Future Best Self exercise. But if you're finding that difficult, then think about redesigning the next 6 months. What are small things you can do every week to raise your level of hope, to get you excited about the future? Give it a try. And if you are feeling depressed, this is the book to read. All right, everybody, great to see you. I hope that you have a great week, and we will see you next time.